Is a 401k worth it? That's the biggest question on everyone's mind nowadays. Okay, fine, maybe it's not the biggest question, but definitely top 10. Before we proceed further, let's clearly define what a 401k is. A 401k is a retirement account that your boss provides for you and you put a portion of your paycheck inside to invest. When you retire, you can take the money out and live the good life, assuming you've invested correctly. The account gives you a major tax benefit. You can either pay taxes on the money you put in now and never pay taxes again, or save on taxes now and pay taxes on the money later. In other words, you can think of it like a Robinhood account with a special tax benefit. In a nutshell, whether the 401k is worth it or not will depend on three main factors: employer matching, fees, and investment options. If these factors aren't favorable, it may be wise not to invest in a 401k. There are various ways employer matching works, but here's a super simple example. If you make $100,000 a year and your employer is willing to match 5% of your salary, you can put in $5,000 in your 401k and your employer will also put in $5,000. If your employer is matching your contribution or the money that you're putting in, you should maximize and take full advantage of it. It's literally free money. However, you might not want to participate in some cases. Above all, having excessive fees for your 401k will wipe out your retirement dreams. It's like driving a car with no brakes and you will crash. Most people don't know how much they are actually paying in fees, or worse, they think there are no fees. The most common 401k fees you need to be aware of are investment fees, administrative fees, and service fees. In short, anything above 1% becomes very dangerous. When you receive your 401k statements, make sure to search for terms such as total asset-based fees, total operating expenses as a percentage, or expense ratios. You usually pay higher fees if you work for a smaller company or if you invest in actively managed funds. This brings me to my next point. Be very careful of what you invest in. You wouldn't put trash in your mouth, so don't do that to your 401k. The nastiest piece of trash you can possibly put in your 401k is a stock picking mutual fund that tries to beat the market. Why? It usually doesn't beat the market and secretly charges you an arm and a leg for bad performance. In contrast, a low-cost, passively managed fund that follows an index like the S&P 500 would be a better choice. Vanguard usually offers these funds and charges around 0.03%. If your company offers you a cheap plan with good investment options, you should definitely participate in the plan. In addition, if it offers employer matching, you should try to get the full amount from that as well. However, if your employer doesn't match your contributions and the plan doesn't have good investment options or charges a lot, you may want to opt out. You also have the option to do an in-service distribution, which allows you to transfer money from your 401k to your individual retirement account, IRA. If you're finding this video helpful so far, be sure to hit that like button down below. An IRA is basically a 401k, but you create the account yourself and not through your employer. You have more control over what you can invest in, instead of being limited to only what your employer offers. Both the 401k and the IRA have a yearly cap of how much money you can put into each of these accounts. This cap changes every year or so. Luckily, the cap is not shared, so you can max out both your IRA limit and your 401k limit for the year. They're treated as two different things. If you don't have an IRA already, you can easily set one up through companies such as Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade. It's as fast and easy as creating an Instagram account. There are two types of IRA and 401k, the traditional versions and the Roth versions. Which one should you pick? That'll depend on when you want to pay your taxes. Do you want to pay taxes today or do you want to pay taxes in the future? Most professionals prefer one over the other. Can you guess which one it is? You can find out the answer in this next video, which will cover the pros and cons of each retirement account type and which one is a better choice for your retirement.